Good morning. It's quite a hot one here in South Somerset. I hope the weather's nice where you are. I'm not that great in the heat, to be honest. I did a video yesterday, seems like a long time ago, but it was about an experience on a CELTA course, English language teaching course in Berlin some 10 years ago. I've just been reading through the comments and they're all great comments and fascinating to hear some people who've done similar courses and so forth. Excuse me. There's a comment by esymmetry. I hope esymmetry doesn't mind me reading it out, but it really struck me in relation to Lucy Letby's plight, as esymmetry calls it, and I've often that word has always sprung to mind for me as well. Plight, and it is a plight. It says Esymmetry's comment is, "Hi Mark, I turned 50 last year. I still have trouble listening to my intuition." I'll just break in there because in my video I just said I did this course which was horrible experience, but I knew straight away my intuition was telling me that. But I'd already paid all the money up front, but I don't want to rehash the course. But it's about the idea of intuition and whether we listen to it. Back to Esymmetry's comment. I'm working on my confidence. Sometimes I know something is not right, but I'm working on recognizing that it isn't always me. So, to work out the thing. Perhaps we all struggle with that. I wonder if that is why Lucy's plight resonates so much. I think what has happened to her is the worst thing that could happen to any human ever. I really pray for her. I was very touched by this comment, and I totally agree with it. Claire Waikane agrees yes to that comment, and it got quite a lot of likes as well, because I think people connected with that very much, because absolutely intuition, and that's something I totally resonate with. Esymmetry's comment, I'm working on things. Well, and I'm 60, and I'm working on that. And I've always had the intuitions, but it's about whether you listen to them or not. Because the world and all its structures and power structures are so seemingly powerful, and it depends how much confidence you've built up early on. And if you haven't particularly, then doesn't matter how old you get, they still seem very daunting. The idea, an official letter or a letter from a lawyer or something like that. It seems, oh, this is just power, or what can I do against this? Or a police officer, or whomsoever in a position, or a manager in a job, And your intuition's telling me it's all bogus. This is a bogus authority, and they're not right, or it's not fair, or whatever. But we're kind of almost, mystified and brainwashed into not so much respecting, but in a way being overawed by these authority figures and structures, which are, I'm not to say there shouldn't be any authority, but at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but it should be legitimate. And often we feel that there's something deeply wrong with how it's operating, and a lot of it intrinsically as a whole. But anyway, yeah, the connection with Lucy Letby is because other people have said along the way, and I get what they mean. They said, well, I would have left and I should have left when she realised it was like that. But Lucy Letby was someone of such high standards, I think, but didn't know there was such evil in the world, in a way. I'm not saying she was totally naive, because she was doing jobs with matters of life and death, so in one way she was dealing with things that the vast majority of people never will. In her relatively short career, she did that. She did it for quite a number of years. Most people will never be in a situation like that, and looking after such vulnerable patients and everything, and doing it so well. She obviously she obviously grew up from a family very well brought up to believe that the structures of organizational structures we have in this country, the police, the justice system, well, they're not going to, and doctors actually, and the whole medical world, they're not going to be as capricious and frankly evil as they are in some cases. And the system as a whole is pretty evil as a whole, actually. Intrinsically, there's something really, really psychopathic about it. Psychopathic about the system as a whole in terms of the police. And a lot of individuals rise very high in it without any morality whatsoever. So they're the antithesis of Lucy Letby. But, and I'm only realising all this. Well, I've realised it for a few years now, but I'm really getting it. And the more you look into it, it's very painful to look at. It's very painful to look at it, actually. Very disturbing and painful. And you can go through a kind of what they might call a black pill stage, when everything just seems... And there are many people, good people, trying to struggle within those kind of systems, as it were, and trying to do their best. But usually they're just beaten down, and they're beaten down into silence. And I've covered all that before and said all that before, and the best they can do is silence, which is a form of complicity. But it's just they feel they just can't fight it. You can't fight it. You become a sacrifice. You become a sacrifice to the bad energy of that organisation. So, as said before, if an individual officer that had worked tangentially or partly on Hummingbird suddenly came out, started talking to Anouk Curry, Sarah Napton, like laying it all on the line and saying we've done a terrible thing here, they absolutely would be destroyed by the police, if not prosecuted. They'd go for them. They'd try to get them in prison. They'd try to prosecute them and harm them as much as they could. The police would, exactly like they did, like with Stephanie Davies. That's exactly what they did. They go after you. Because you're showing them up. You're showing them up for what they are. And that's why everyone stays silent, except for exceptions like Stephanie Davies, who's absolutely an amazingly courageous person. But it just reveals what these organisations actually are when it matters, when moral issues actually matter. That's how they act as a default. Anyway, I don't want to rehash everything I've said in the other video about that, because I'm trying to... It's this thing, I'm trying to work with a different kind of... for my own life, but also in relation to thinking about this terrible situation for Lucy Letby and her family, the different energy, because it's exposed now. It's exposed all the people that have done her unalterable harm, really, actually, and ongoing. They've been exposed to the people that matter. And the people that matter, it's not saying that we're better people, it's just that we can see it. We can see it and we know it. And it doesn't need everybody all at once to get it. There's enough people that have got it already, that it isn't going away. And thank goodness there's people in positions in the systems of power, certain individuals, and obviously there's not many, but there are some. Sir David Davis, obviously, and obviously from the medical side of it, Shu Lee and the panel, and obviously there are others. You could go on a list of them, but there are, and that really helps. Obviously, it helps. But what it doesn't need is like every person in the country saying, "You've got to release Lucy Letby. She's obviously innocent." Eventually, everyone will catch up. Pretty much everyone will catch up, except for the crazies, or the other psychos or the people who did it. You're never going to get Evans to say mea culpa. I just I don't know what. Well, I don't know what excuses he'd give, because he's such a disturbed. But I don't want to start going down that line, because I've said it all. I feel I've said it all as much as I want to say, but I'm following everything as much as I can. But so what am I trying to say with? I'm trying to connect it with what I was saying before. Yeah, the energy is that it's exposed already. It's done already. In effect, in energetic terms, Lucy Letby is already, it's all been exposed. It's just this naked, raw power that is not morally based in any way whatsoever. There's no moral basis for the power that's keeping Lucy Letby in prison. It's just these dead zombie systems run by kind of pretty much atrophied zombie immoral people, or people that can, well, I was going to say they can park their morality for their job, but then, I don't think it works like that. I just think, something's gone really wrong in your development, that you can just do that then, It doesn't matter whether you're kind to your dog or your husband or your wife or your children, and you can do that, but you're still ensuring that an innocent person is in prison, and you're in a position to do something about it. I mean, literally do something about it, and you're not. So that's a real problem for you, But there's enough people that get it and know, and it's exposed. It really is under full exposure now. It's really fully exposed. And just to say again, it doesn't need everybody in the country to click onto it. It doesn't. It's more than a tip of a spear now. It is going to happen, but we're just dealing with that immoral power structures. That's what it is, or kind of, they're non-human actually, and the people acting within them are acting in non-human, inhuman ways, and that's just the reality of that. That's the reality of it. Back to Esymmetry's comment is that, did I finish it? She said, oh, this is, sorry, I interrupted too much. So I'm working on my confidence. Sometimes I know something isn't right, but I'm working on recognizing that it isn't always me. Yeah, because often we think, oh God, it's us, we're not getting it, they're telling us we're wrong, but it's actually they're wrong. Oh, they can't be wrong, they're consultants. Oh, they can't be wrong, they're the police. They can't be. I'm not saying that Esymmetry is saying this, I'm just saying that that's how they bamboozle us, hypnotize us. Oh, they can't be wrong, it's the government. Oh, they can't be wrong, it's the CPS. It can't be wrong, it's this guy who's a psychologist saying, look at these notes, it's a confession. Oh, he's got these qualifications coming out the yin yang. Oh, he must be right. No, he's not right, he's talking shit, So there was loads of them, weren't there? Loads of them. Esymmetry goes on to say, we all struggle with that. We do, I certainly do. I wonder if that's why Lucy's plight resonates so much. Yes, I think it absolutely is. I think what's happened to her is the worst thing that could have happened to any human ever. I really pray for her. Yes, I had read that, and that's a really great comment. And where was I going to go with that? It's just Lucy Letby, fairly and squarely, with amazing strength, courage, and dignity that obviously came from her parents as well, because they helped her. Took them on, won that grievance. As people have remarked, a nurse winning a grievance against 6 or 7 consultants, it's probably unheard of. Yeah, it's probably unheard of. And they could not stand that, and then they went in for the kill. They absolutely did. They absolutely did. And then that whole zombie system followed them, all respecting their apparent superiority, of which there is none at all. And they seem that I think and believe that it should be haunting them every day, and it should be. I think they should be. They're not literally in prison, of course they're not, but they energetically are, because. And it might not seem that. They might be going on in their lives and thinking, we're part of. But they know it. They know the story's growing around. They know the story's growing in terms of who they are, actually. They're not the whistleblowers. They're not the heroes. They're the villains of this. They know it. And they know it. I don't think they give a shit, care that much. Otherwise, they'd be doing something about it. But they know what's coming. and it's coming down the track for every one of those bullies in that group of 7 people, and then all the creeps and I don't know what to call them. I'm trying to pull back on that, saying the things, because I've said it all, what I personally feel about them. Don't need to do it anymore. Just gonna have a drink a minute. Squash, orange squash. But I think put a video on the consortium, but voice is gone. That's interesting. My voice totally went then. And I think it's because this is the intuition again, you see. Our bodies tell us when something's wrong. Don't, in this particular instance, don't go back into that mode of that, you know, the kind of high expressed emotion, hatred mode, whatever. Don't do it. It's no good for you anymore. You've done it. It's enough now with that. It's been exposed. It is all exposed. It's not exposed because of that, but it just has taken time, and there's so many people have been working on it, and it had to come out. It's a natural law thing. It's a natural law thing, and it's going to unfold. But it's got to happen quicker, isn't it? It's got to happen quicker, and it's not going away for them. It's not going away for Cheshire Police, cowards that they are. And that's it. You could keep repeating it. You could keep repeating and castigating these people. But I think we know what we're dealing with already. And back to Lucy, is that she didn't know, and her life and her energy was really pure and honest, and believed that if she was honest and fair and true, that nothing would harm her. Or maybe she didn't even think that. She's like, well, why would they blame? Why on earth would like 7 of these consultants, my former colleagues, accuse me of murder? It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me. And that was what her cri de coeur was. I don't understand why they hate me so much. But those people like that are in the world. They just are, and some of them are doctors, some of them are in the police, some of them are doing whatever, and they might not be in a job at all. But they are out there, and unfortunately, you've got to watch out for them. But if you don't know, you don't know, and you hadn't experienced it. But why should you? Why should you think that that was even possible? It shouldn't have been possible. So this is nothing. This is the thing. I don't think it's anything to do with Lucy Letby should have wised up or worked out that she was in a dangerous place at all, because it shouldn't be like that. That's like blaming the victim. She did exactly the right thing in a moral and decent world. She stood up for herself as well. She did the courageous thing. Everything she did was right. She was punished. The more she did that was right, the stronger she was, the more she was going to be punished. But that doesn't say anything negative about her, obviously. It says everything about what's wrong with the world that we're in, the society we're in, the structures, the fact that you get complete nutters in all kinds of weird positions. You get someone like Evans that ends up being used in court case after court case, and nobody seems to care about it. Nobody spots it. You know, what he'd done to previous people. He'd victimized other people. Nobody cared about it. He should never have been anywhere near a court in his life. He should never have been a doctor in his life. He's anyway. So I'm back in it, and that energy that they want to draw from all of us, which is like to make us kind of like go crazy and sound crazy and look crazy, whatever. I put that other video on, not private, another setting, unlisted. I'm going to put it back onto public, actually, because it's real. It's real. The feelings are real. It's all still there, and it's all still there from so many of us. It's a kind of justified rage. But it's got to be controlled. I realise it's going to be controlled in the world, externally, but also for ourselves as well. because it can harm you. It can really harm you, can't it? Because you want to put it into action. You want something done about it. And in relation to this, we want Lucy Letby released yesterday. We want it done now. We want physical action in the world. And we're waiting on, what we're waiting on, a bunch of arseholes, basically. We're waiting on a bunch of arseholes in position. But I'm back there, you see? And that's the loop. And I recognise this loop with other stuff that's gone on in my personal life. And you work yourself up and up and up and up and up. And these arseholes are just sitting back and want you to destroy yourself. So we've got to, it's going to work out for Lucy Letby. Obviously it is. Her life's been so terribly attacked and damaged, and I don't want to say destroyed, because that's a sort of a, no, she has got a life ahead. She has got a life ahead. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I can't imagine what it's going to be like, but she has got a life ahead, and she's got many, many supporters and friends and people who recognise who she is, and eventually that's going to be in the tens, if not hundreds of millions across the world. That's what's going to happen here. That's what's going to happen here. And it's kind of happened already. It's happened in essence. As the kernel of this, it's happened already. But we're waiting on these sick, moribund, zombie systems to do something, because unfortunately they have this apparent authority. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much, and take care and all the best.